My name is Diana Lawrence, and I'm running for Congress against Steve Womack. And this afternoon, I was playing with my 2.5-year-old grandson, chasing him around my daughter's house, literally chasing him, and hearing the words again, every time we went around the house. And he reminds me of why I decided to get into this race. Because someday, he's going to look at me and say, Gaga, because that's what he calls me, Gaga, what did you do when Trump took over and became an authoritarian dictator? And I will have to tell him, I want to tell him I worked really hard to unseat Steve Womack because he's a rubber stamp for Trump. And it's not just for my grandson, it's for all young people, you know, and all of us, but especially for young people, because they will really pay the price, I believe, for what's happening now. And why I decided to, so that is why I decided to run for office, and that was way back on January 20th, when the 26 executive orders came along, and the first one, what they called it, ending the weaponization of the federal government, which is just ridiculous, because that's exactly what they are doing right now, is weaponizing every little piece of the government against us. And like Rob said, they're turning it against, they're turning each other against, they're trying to turn everybody against each other. And even with my own family, I have a sister, so I'm one of 7 kids, so there's a lot of us. And my oldest sister will not talk to me because I'm a Democrat. My brother sort of talks to me because I'm a Democrat, but he'll argue everything I tell him is wrong and that Trump is right. And I have some siblings who are scared to death and don't know what to do from this point. So I'm running for Congress for them too. You know, even my brother and my sister that doesn't talk to me. Even though they don't live in Arkansas, you know, what every congressman does affects everybody else as well. So on January 29th, I filed my papers with the Federal Elections Commission, and I just really wanted to beat the yes man rubber stamp for Trump. And what do you tell people in the future while Trump was president and destroying our country and the world, is that you really need to consider yourself as part of the resistance. All the No Kings protests. And I know a lot of people in this audience already do the protesting, and that's super fantastic. I love protesting myself. And those are really important resistance measures because we have to keep it up, and we have to keep going no matter how tired we're getting, because we have to keep it up for the next year and a half. And we can't look back, we have to only look forward, and every time you want to look back, just say, let's look forward and move on and do what we can to get rid of Trump and his cronies. The things that, when I'm talking to people, so I talk to a lot of people fundraising because I'm doing it myself. I don't want to take PAC money, I don't want to take special interest money, so I'm on the phone hours a day calling people and talking to voters in this district. And the #1 thing they tell me that they're afraid of is the democracy, that we're losing our democracy. And then the second thing they come up with is the economy. I had a lady who was going to the grocery stores, I was talking to her on the phone, and she said, do you understand this 2 pounds of hamburger is going to cost me $14? And I said, yeah, I understand that, that's why I don't buy hamburger anymore. And third thing they come up with is immigration and ICE. It's such a cruel thing that the government is doing to undocumented people. It's like, what part of them has become so sick that they think this is an appropriate way to deal with immigration? There are lots of ways to deal with immigration, and this is the dumbest idea there is.
Yes, exactly.
And another thing, party. We hear a lot about the Democratic Party, and right now in polls, they are tapped as less than Republicans. They have less of a popularity than Republicans in polls right now. I am a lifelong Democrat. My parents were Democrats. My grandparents were Democrats. So I will always be a Democrat. It's just that if there's something wrong with the way that the Democratic Party is running something, it is up to us to tell them we want it changed. And it's up to us to vote for people who will make the change within the party. And I'm one of those people. I'm not the people are what is important to me, not the party. You know, the party has your back, but if they're doing something that's not quite right, it's up to the congressperson or the person in power to represent the people. The people come first. Okay, so
what do Democrats need to do to win in this red state?
Oh, yes.
It's a big question.
Yes, I've been thinking about that because I know we need about something like a third of Republicans to really pull us through to a good victory. And we can't, you know, we also need people who haven't voted, but if you know Republicans are voting and you can help them along the path of enlightenment, we should be doing that. And so that one of the very important things I want to do is to get in and churches in the area and have little groups and have Republicans in those groups so that I can more fully understand where they're coming from. And getting out to the rural areas of the state will make a big difference. So that's one of my plans, is to get out and talk to farmers, because the rural people will really be heard as well.
Is Israel committing genocide on our dime?
Yes, that's a very good question. And I believe they are. I honestly believe they do. Are doing it. That makes me. When I watch the PBS NewsHour at night, because that's my channel, I watch for news, and every night they have something on Gaza, and I just want to throw something at the TV because I get so angry. I don't understand how we can be supporting a country that is doing this to people. It's doing this to children. These children will never grow up normal. I mean, when you get a family like that, your brain development, I just can't imagine. So to me, it is a genocide. You know, whether they've taken 30% of the population, 40%, that doesn't matter to me. What they're doing is genocide. And we shouldn't be paying for it.
Right. Yeah.
Do you worry about our government becoming a dictatorship?
I certainly do, and I think we're halfway there. We're like the little frog in the pot of boiling water, and if we don't watch out, we will be burned alive, you know, and figuratively. So yes, I do believe we're halfway on the road to authoritarianism. He has taken the power out of Congress's hands, out of the Senate's hands, and out of the justice's hands, you know, the judicial system. It's only the federal judges are the only thing standing between complete authoritarianism and democracy. And for those people I talk to that are worried about democracy, they also realize that. And so I think there's going to be a lot of excitement in the next year and a half if we can maintain that we not get depressed about it. You know, don't get depressed, get active.
Let's go back to what is the most pressing issue facing Arkansans, and how will you address it?
Well, I think the most pressing issue is getting a Democrat in office. Now, I told a woman that on the phone one day. She said, "No, you can't say that." But I really do believe it is, because Democrats all have a very similar agenda. We all want the same things for everybody, basically. And so getting someone in, a Democrat in office against Steve Womack is really, really important. But outside of that, the other thing I hear the most that people say is poverty issues. For Arkansas, something like in Arkansas, 50% of the kids or something are on Medicaid. That's a huge number. You know, there's something wrong with that. So for me too, dealing with poverty is a really big issue, and having a better Medicaid system where we can follow people longer and support them longer so they don't need to keep coming back onto Medicaid. So I think poverty is a really big issue in Arkansas.
Where do you stand on LGBTQ issues?
I'm totally, I mean, I have a niece too, like, well, she's my niece, you know, it was, I have to admit it was kind of shocking at first, because I didn't understand why, you know, I had some learning to do with my niece. I had never met anybody that I knew of that had transitioned, and she totally transitioned and is a beautiful woman today, and I really respect that. I know it was a hard decision, and she lives in Florida, which is really frightening for her, and so we're trying to support, the family's trying to support her the best we can. So yes, I'm totally good with all that. And you're right, and the answer, you know, someone at a picnic the other night asked me, and do I get health care in your new system? And I said, damn right you do. You get all of your health care in the new system, in the new health care system.
Military.
What do you see as the best argument to not vote for Steve Womack, and how do you plan on getting that across?
The best argument for voting against Steve Womack is that, well, other than being a rubber stamp for Trump, he's just mean. He's cruel. I mean, I see him deal with interviewers, and I'm like, well, what? You know, how he does, and especially if you're a woman. I notice watching him on TV, if it's a female interviewer, he just jumps all over everything she has to say. He will not listen. So, yeah, I think he's just not very good at constituent services and listening to people.
What is your plan on health care?
My plan on health care is to have a national health care system. I would like, and to pay for that, we have to really look at our tax structure. Our tax system is really wacko. And if we fix our tax structure, we can afford to have national health care. And we can't afford not to have national health care. If one of the three big companies, Humana, United Health, or Blue Cross, goes under, we're in big trouble. And if it goes under next week, we are in serious trouble. We have a lot of uninsured people. So I want to be proactive and institute a national health care system. And that way everybody's covered with decent coverage, not just Medicare coverage, but good coverage.
How do you view it? Absolutely. How do you view the increasing cost of living, and how can it be addressed?
The increasing cost of living, and how can it be addressed? Getting a Democrat in Congress and helping to, you know, part of the cost of living, I also wonder, as I'm going through the grocery store and the store, and I think, how much of this is due to tariffs and how much isn't? You know, that's the part we don't know, is how much is tariffs costing us versus a company wanting to take advantage of us in the situation that we're in now. So I think we really need to tickle that apart and figure it out. Yeah.
You still have a minute and a half for a closing statement.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I know that I don't always look or sound like it, but I am a mama bear. And ask my daughter about that. I'm a mama bear, so I will fight fiercely for anything that is moral and right. And I'm a fighter. I've been fighting my whole life. And this Congress fight is just another fight for me. And I'm working really hard to get Steve Womack out of office for you, because you all need good representation in that office. And so that's what I'm doing.